Ricky Rudd, also Kyle Petty. They're trying to dispense off the black car trailer.
Ricky Rudd's had a good run today.
He has. His car's been good. Comes Wiki on the inside. He's trying to go by Kyle Petty. And Morgan Shepherd, I think, is going to help him, and I believe they're going to be able to make it.
Well, there's Rusty right behind Morgan, or was behind him. Dale Jarrett is following Rusty Wallace through there.
And Spencer right behind Morgan.
I don't know. His car, it certainly didn't take off very well because there was a space of about 50 yards opened up right going into turn one. Now he's back up to speed.
You see how wise Kyle Petty was? You know, he could have stayed up beside of Jimmy Spencer, but he realized if he had stayed up beside of him, they're just going to fall back. He eased off the gas, let Spencer pull up in front of him and get in line. That's the only way they're going to catch up with these guys.
Yep, you got to stay in line. You start running side by side, it's going to cost you.
First 24 cars are on the lead lap. Ken Schrader in 25th, 1 lap down. Everybody else at least 1 lap down. Dave Marcus running in 30th spot. There's 3 laps down to the leader. Only 1 incident so far in the first 102 laps of this race. That involved Charlie Glotzback in car number 90, who is being shown right now in 37th position. He hit the wall coming out of the second turn on the backstretch. He's okay. The car badly damaged.
There was one other caution flag. I think there's more left in turn 4. NASCAR checked the racetrack. There has been 2 caution flags. And Elliott goes for the lead down in turn 1.
And he's got Sterling Marlin right behind him. Let's see if Mark Martin will move down to that low line. No, he stays behind Earnhardt. So the Junior Johnson cars go to the front once again. Elliott and Marlin in the crowd here on the main straightaway loves it.
Don't you know Junior Johnson just loves it too? For 4 or 5 years, or what, 5 or 6 years, I guess, his cars have just not been the dominant cars that we've known Junior Johnson's cars to be over the years. But this year, he's back to the front. Daytona 500, it looked like this quite often.
Look at the crowd cheering.
Oh, they love it.
They love Bill Elliott down here. Nearby Georgia.
This is the first time Elliott's led today, isn't it?
Yep. Yes, I think it is.
Yep. Christian Budweiser Ford out front gets him 5 bonus Winston Cup points for leading at least a lap. And then, of course, the driver who leads the most laps gets the 5 front bonus.
A bunch of Fords up there, 2 Chevrolets. Elliott in a Ford, Sterling Marlin in a Ford, Earnhardt in a Chevrolet. And then it's Mark Martin in the Ford. Davey Allison on the outside trying to go by Martin. He's got some help with Ricky Rudd in the Chevrolet. Allison's in the Ford.
And there's Junior watching his 2 cars running first and second.
Now, you see he had 22 on the left side on his sleeve there. I bet he's got 11 on the other side.
Showing no favoritism.
Right.
And Mark Martin is hung out on the inside and is going backwards.
Boy, he sure is.
Yeah, he's going to wind up 11th. That's where he's going to wind up, I think.
And he was third just a moment ago, and now he's going straight back, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Now, there's an opening right behind Dale Jarrett, between Jarrett and... Oh, he gets in there in front of... Wow, I didn't think there was room for a car in there. But Derek Coates backs off, and there he went.
I agree with you. There wasn't room to put a car in there, but somehow it fit.
In a little different way than you try to park on a Saturday afternoon. Parallel parking lot.
Bill Elliott has fallen from 3rd position in the points that he had for a while down to 4th, but he now stands a good chance of moving back into 3rd because Terry Labonte is already out of the race. And Sterling Marlin will now drop to the inside in turn number 1 and try to take the lead away from Bill, and he does easily.
He does easily. His car is really good.
Dale Earnhardt watching everything from 3rd position.
And boy, Mark Martin went way high up in turns 1 and 2. Picked him up a couple of positions up there. Looked like he was going into the wall, but he knew what he was doing.
Now Martin can get teamed up with Morgan Shepherd and Alan Kulwicki, a couple more Fords.
Right now, the last car in the lead lap is King Richard Petty. Started 17th and is currently running in 23rd position. Boy, you've seen that STP on the side of King Richard's car for many, many years. He started, this is his 45th start at Talladega, 2 wins. Last one coming in the Winston 500 in 1983. Well, it's his final Winston 500, not his final race here at Talladega. That will come in the Die Hard 500 later, but the King will always rule here at Talladega and in Winston Cup NASCAR stock car racing. King Richard Petty. Quite a lot of cars around him. Meanwhile, the lead draft consists of these 10 cars.
Look how the first 4 is running the bottom of the racetrack, and the next 5 or 6 is running the top of the racetrack. They run nose to tail down the straightaway. When they get to the corner, the first 4 goes to the inside, the next 5 goes to the outside.
Jimmy Spencer has lost the draft, making it 9 cars that are hooked on nose to tail. Larry Cope did the caboose in the train.
Uh-oh, there goes Kawicki. Ricky Rudd knew. He said, I knew I was supposed to go high.
And Morgan Shepherd will come along behind Allen. And uh-oh, looks like Rudd may be hung out here. The view from inside Morgan's car. He's past Ricky. Now Morgan Shepherd and Derek Cope. Nope. Ricky was able to slide in just in front of Mark Martin. So the leader is Sterling Marlin. Running second is Bill Elliott. Then comes Dale Earnhardt and Davey Allison. The NASCAR Winston Cup Series today at Talladega. Back after this. Once again at Talladega, I'm Bob Jenkins, along with Ned Jerry, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch. 113 laps completed. There were 9 cars in the lead draft. Now there are 8. And the one that is missing is Mark Martin. He's dropped off, not because he got out of the draft, but something's wrong with that car.
Yeah, they think it might be the battery going dead on that car. Jerry, have you learned anything about Mark Martin's car?
Well, about 2 laps ago, Dad, the car began to sputter, and then the car literally just almost quit running. He thought something was locking up in the rear end initially. They said, no, I think it's in the motor. And they looked, and they think they figured out it's the battery they think is going dead. So Steve Mills had the crew get another battery from around one of their compartments here in the pits, and they're waiting for Mark to get a chance to come on the pit road. They're talking to him now. The car is still running, but apparently does not have a lot of amperage showing in the gauges. So they're waiting to get a chance to bring him on the pit road and replace the battery.
In the meantime, Mark Martin will just do as best he can, but he's well off the pace.
He will probably stay on the racetrack until he gets lapped. At that point in time, then he can come in and change the battery. But as long as he's the lead lap, he probably will stay out there and just hope for a caution flag.
Yeah, that would be his salvation right now. If the caution, he's running by himself out there at the moment. There is a pack of cars coming up behind him, but you can see how far it is, that group of cars in front of him, and then it's about that far behind the group of cars behind him, so he's not getting much assistance, no assistance really from the draft.
There's Dale Jarrett, Jimmy Spencer, a couple of Chevrolets.
Yeah, they lost the lap of the lead group, lost the draft of the lead group a little while back. They just couldn't quite hang on.
Jarrett's in 13th, Spencer in 14th.
Now both of them just took on fuel the last time. They did not change any tires. There's Ernie Irvin and Rusty Wallace and Kyle Petty. Now Irvin did change tires on that last pit stop because he had only been on 2 the time before. So his car, so that green Chevrolet, essentially wasn't pretty good.
These 3 cars have been drafting on each other for the last several laps, trying to catch the lead draft, but they're quite a ways behind. Saw them putting another lap on Darrell Waltrip, who has had just a very, very disappointing afternoon. He's 6 laps down right now in 30 seconds.
A little action up front here, Bob. Dale Earnhardt has taken over the 2nd position. Now Davey Allison goes around Bill Elliott on the outside. Elliott caught down on the inside. Will he be able to get back in line?
He may drop all the way back to 8th. Let's see.
Kawicki goes by. Morgan Shepherd goes by. Rudd pulls up even with him. Meanwhile, Derek Cope is still, he's on the outside. I think Elliott's in trouble.
And caution is on the racetrack.